Europe's peace and stability are intricately tied to the relationship between Germany and Poland, a relationship which has been on a long and rocky path to recovery since World War II, and which finds itself on uncertain ground again in recent years. The tension, though, isn't just historical. It's also about Poland's rapid rise as a significant player in Europe, challenging Germany's traditional leadership role. This shift has not only reshaped power dynamics on the continent, but has also highlighted growing ideological divides between East and West Europe. But to better understand this, we need to go back in time and dive into the complex history that has shaped the relationship between Poland and Germany. Most will begin this story with the brutal invasion of Poland by Nazi Germany in 1939, which wiped out more than 20% of the Polish population and left a deep scar on the relationship between the two countries. However, to truly understand Poland's relationship with Germany, we need to go back a bit further. You see, 1939 wasn't the first time German actions had reshaped Poland's fate. Rewind to the late 1700s, and you'll find Poland being carved up in a series of partitions by Prussia, now part of Germany, Russia, and Austria, wiping Poland off the map as a sovereign state for more than 100 years. Germany's hand, especially Prussia's grab for Polish lands, set the stage for a complicated and often tense dynamic between Poland and Germany. These events from the past have cast a long shadow over how Poland views and deals with Germany today, fueling a cautious and sometimes suspicious approach. This wariness and mistrust towards Germany has in many ways become embedded in Polish political thinking and actions. And then, of course, there's the role of Russia, adding another layer of complexity to the historical tensions in the region. Stalin's victories in World War II gave him a powerful seat at the table when it came time to redraw the map of Europe. Despite initial promises of restoring Poland as a free and independent nation, strategic interests led Stalin to keep Lviv under Soviet control, expanding the USSR's influence further into Europe. This geopolitical maneuvering left Poland in a tight spot for the next 4 decades, under the thumb of communist rule and stripped of nearly half its territories in the eastern borderlands by the Soviet Union. Meanwhile, Germany was split, with the Soviets taking the east and the Allies the west. There is, however, more to this. In a twist of fate, Poland was given parts of eastern Germany as a sort of makeup for its losses. This redrawing of borders by the Allies, including the Soviet Union, the USA, and Britain, created the modern-day boundaries between Poland and Germany, which are notably straight and defined by these post-war decisions. But this complicated Poland's relationship with Germany even further. You see, after World War II, Europe was in shambles, and the task of drawing new borders led to massive upheaval. Germans living in regions that were handed over to Poland, like Silesia and Pomerania, were forced to leave their homes, often at gunpoint. At the same time, Poles from areas that the Soviet Union took over were moved to what had been German lands. This mass relocation was painful and reopened wounds from the war, making the post-war recovery even more difficult for individuals and communities alike. And then there was also the issue of war reparations, tackled at the Potsdam Conference in 1945. Despite Poland's significant suffering during the war, it wasn't directly involved in these discussions. The big decisions were made by the Soviet Union, the United States, and the United Kingdom. The Soviet Union, which took it upon itself to speak for its Eastern Bloc satellite states, including Poland, decided to take its reparations from its own occupation zone in Germany. This meant Poland got its share of reparations indirectly through the Soviet Union, and this mostly consisted of industrial equipment and machinery stolen, taken without objection, from the Soviet-occupied zone of Germany. Poland, having endured the brutal impact of the war, including massive loss of life and destruction, felt obviously shortchanged by this arrangement. The country's path to recovery was complicated, not just by the immense challenges of rebuilding, but also by being under the Soviet Union's thumb, which limited Poland's options for seeking justice or better compensation. And it is this era that highlighted the intricate and often strained relations between nations in the aftermath of war, shaping the future of Polish-Soviet and Polish-German relations for years to come. That, though, is not the end of the story. You see, the game changed with the collapse of the Soviet Union and Germany reunifying as one country. This big shift opened the door for Poland and Germany to start a new chapter. In 1991, they set up the Foundation for Polish-German Reconciliation. The main goal? To tackle the long-standing issue of reparations head-on. The German government stepped up, providing funds specifically for Polish victims of the Nazi regime, aiming to close this difficult chapter once and for all. And they all lived happily ever after, right? Well, not exactly. Despite Germany's attempts to make amends through reparations, the response in Poland has been one of dissatisfaction. The criticism is loudest among right-wing politicians, who argue that the substantial reparations reparations paid by Germany after the war were diverted to the Soviet Union, which controlled their distribution, leaving Poland shortchanged. The situation escalated with the Law and Justice Party, PIS, in Warsaw, which pushed for Germany to pay additional reparations for the significant damage Poland suffered during the war, amounting to an eye-watering $1.32 trillion. This demand has caused quite a stir in Berlin and Brussels, challenging the European consensus. German officials have responded defensively, pointing out that Poland's demands singularly target Berlin while overlooking Moscow's substantial role and responsibilities during and after the war. Germany views the issue of financial war claims as conclusively settled. This move by Poland to seek further reparations raises a critical question. Why is Poland revisiting and potentially unraveling years of diplomatic progress and reconciliation with Germany? From Berlin's perspective, it seemed like Warsaw was playing up historical grievances for political gain. With the Polish parliamentary elections looming in October 2023, there was speculation in Germany that the PIS government was leveraging the contentious issue of war reparations to drum up voter support. Yet, the political landscape in Poland took an unexpected turn. A surge in voter turnout led to opposition parties gaining enough seats to dethrone the Law and Justice (PIS) party. Despite securing the most votes, PIS found itself unable to form a government due to its polarizing approach. This left them as the biggest party without the power to govern. In their place, a coalition formed by the Civic Coalition, the Third Way, and the Left stepped up to take the reins, signaling a shift in direction for Poland. Leading this new coalition is Donald Tusk, a prominent figure in European politics with a history as the president of the EU Council and head of the European People's Party. This change hints at a move away from PIS's skeptical stance on the EU and Germany towards a more pro-European Union agenda under Tusk's leadership. This, though, has fueled allegations by the populist right-labeling Mr. Tusk as a German agent. However, the question remains. Does this political shift spell the end of the war reparations debate? It's unlikely. The issue of reparations is deeply rooted in Poland's national consciousness and political discourse, suggesting that it will continue to be a topic of discussion and negotiation for years to come, regardless of the government in power. Poland's trust in Germany remains shaky, especially regarding Germany's lukewarm response to Russia's aggression in Ukraine. With both countries in NATO, Poland views Germany as being too close to Russia, and there are claims that Germany's hesitation to align with Eastern European NATO members on Ukraine matters is weakening the alliance further. For Poland, no matter who's in charge, national security is the top concern, particularly with the threat posed by Russia to Ukraine right next door. However, the differing approaches to security taken by Warsaw and Berlin could potentially split the EU into two blocks, one influenced by Poland in the east and another led by Germany in the west, driving a wedge even deeper between the two regions. If you want to find out more about how Poland is becoming a European superpower, check out our next video linked here.